Hello and welcome to Geetika Ki Canadian Diary. In today's episode, we will talk about a very special and an important part of the Canadian health workforce. They care for some of Canadians' most vulnerable people at home in long-term care facilities or senior care homes. Joining me on my podcast, I have Vanessa Vargas from PSW to Rescue. Thank you so much for joining, Vanessa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So I think my very first question would be, who is a PSW, personal support worker? What's their role and what to expect when they walk through your door?
Okay, so first of all, good morning, everyone. My name is Vanessa Vargas, and as a PSW, when we go to people's homes, we gotta introduce ourselves. First of all, we gotta call the night before to make sure they're gonna be home because we all have things to do. We all have appointments, people to see, and we gotta make sure that they're and what their needs are before we arrive to the house, what we need to bring in order to help them. And as a PSW, we go in and we help them with their daily livings. So let's say they need to take a shower, they need to get dressed and exercise, they need a meal preparation, if they need their laundry done. So these are all the stuff that we do as a PSWs when we go into their homes. But I like to call them before and see what there is needs to be done before I arrive, so I know how to prepare myself with them. Yeah,
What
and
to expect?
everyone has, yeah, and every client that you go to has its different personalities, so you never know what you're gonna get when you get there.
I was
How
just
their
going to
day
use the
starts.
word personality. Like everybody is a different person, right? And so I also wanted to ask you, how do families make sure that the vulnerable family member is getting the right kind of service or not being put in danger with an unknown person in the house? Like, how do they make themselves feel like kind of confident? Okay, this person is going to be there to take care of someone I love, um, and I want them to be in good hands. So, how do families make sure of that?
Well, it's contacting a trusted agency. It's all about trusting when you talk to someone. I don't know. It's just weird, but you get a gut feeling. When you say, "Okay, I feel comfortable with this person. This makes me feel like I can trust them." And it's also checking their background, right? Making calling for references because you have to make sure still, even though you feel that you're comfortable. It's always good to check their background and the references.
Um, Share a story or concern that you often hear from your client or the patient. And I know that you work mainly with the Alzheimer and dementia clients. So
Mm-hmm.
you are there only for a few hours, and the patient is they're dealing with dementia, the Alzheimer's, and I'm sure they have more than 3 hours of needed help. So, what does a day look like for your regular client?
So what I often come or hear from clients, why are you like we're not there for that long, so they feel alone, right? So especially with seniors living with dementia and Alzheimer's, it the times feels different for them, right? So even a few hours of support flies by when they need the help. So like nearly every part of their day is medication, staying safe. And I have clients who are often like calm and happy, but when they are at the moment that we leave, they're left alone, right? So they're confused and anxious. And for them, it's an emotional roller coasters, right? Because they don't have knowledge of time,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
with the people that them. So without consistency, especially it's consistency of the PSW too, it makes it so much easier. And they become disoriented and inconsistency, it's so it needs to be consistent. And it's simply a few hours is not enough, like they need more help for sure.
I'm also wondering, from in many cultures, like caregiver is somebody, a family member, right? It's like somebody, if you have someone who needs support daily basis, a child or a senior elderly parent, it should be somebody from the family. So I'm wondering from family's perspective, um, what do you hear or what do you see? What would they like to see in our healthcare system when their father or mother is being transported to their home from the hospital or are trying to live independently in their house, not being a burden on our already busy long term facilities? So, how do you see the families juggling their lives to be the caretakers or care providers?
So I have worked closely with families who are overwhelmed and stretched thin, and they want their loved ones to come home safely from the hospital. But often they're left with no clear plan or proper support. I have seen adults, children balancing full time jobs, caring for their own kids, and now trying to navigate the healthcare system with their aging parent. It's heartbreaking because they are doing the best, but it's not sustainable. So families are asking for more transitional support, better communication, and from hospitals and home care that feels reliable and consistent. They don't want a place that their parents are in a long term care. They want them to drive home, and they need a real help to make it that possible.
Yeah, I also feel like Vanessa. I'm kind of thinking in my head, going back in time when my second one was born, and I was bedridden for 4 months, and my mom had just had triple bypass and was being sent from hospital to rehab and then back to home. So I'm thinking, well, I kind of had done enough research, but lots of people don't know uh, they can ask for extra help because, as I said, in many cultures it's like, no, I have to do it, I have to provide it at home myself. Like, I'm not going to be asking for help, or maybe that's not going to be taken as the right thing to do. They don't even know that they can ask, and it's okay to ask for help. At what point, listeners who are listening to our conversation right now, and they are in a situation where they need a PSW, at what point in the hospital or in a rehab or at home can they go and ask their family physician to refer, or how does the whole process work? Just explain it for people who don't know when and how to ask for PSW.
Yes. So when you're first seeing, since notice the signs that your parents are not the same like they used to be, you're starting to see different patterns that they normally usually don't do. I would say go to your doctors because they're the ones that have connection with the hospitals and nurses. They would be your advocate for you because they know you the longest, right? Because your family, the doctors, is the one that been there, so they know. They seen you from where you started and now where you are now. So I would say your doctor would be the best
And when you're in
person.
the hospital, at what point does the doctor tell you that you will need somebody for extra help, support, or it's your duty to ask?
Well, if
Duty
they
to
don't
ask,
provide,
yeah.
yeah, I know, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they see that you need more support, they usually offer it to you. But if you don't see that they're asking you, you have to go out of your way and ask them for it. Like the physician that comes to see you or the nurse, talk to them because they will be able to guide you. Because that's when if you're falling for the first time and you're in the hospital, if you're okay and you're doing fine, they're not gonna go out of their way to help you, right? So
Um,
always asking for help.
ask, do some
Yes,
research, and as you
yes,
said, kind of um, keep a watch on the signs that are happening, and
yes.
then maybe pick on them and then talk to the doctors. And
God, yeah,
um,
for sure.
there is a high demand of PSWs in Canada for people who want to get into the profession. What would you advise them? What are the highs and lows of being a PSW? What do you experience on your daily basis?
So you're asking me like how long does it take, or
No,
like
I mean, like, what are the pros and cons of being a PSW?
okay, so if you don't have no patience, it's not for you. You need to be patient and know that their days is not going to be the same as yesterday. So let's say yesterday they had an amazing day, and you go in today and they're like sad because they're just reminiscing on the past, right? They're like, I'm here. I feel like a burden. I can't do anything like I used to before. and you just gotta make them feel comfortable, right? Comfort, like you're not being a burden. Your kids love you and they want the best for you. So just keep in mind that their day-to-day lives change. It's not the same like you and me. Like we get up and we go happy, we go to work, and I'm gonna go help someone. But just know that you need to be patient, and they need a lot of love from you, right? So if you don't think that you have the right patience, then it's not for you, because there's days that I have come to their house and it's like going to war. You never know. And sometimes, like, if you're working for an agency, they'll ask you to step in for someone else that called in sick, and you have never met that client before. So it makes a big difference if you have a big heart.
I can see you getting emotional, and it's making me emotional because I see that you need to have your heart in this profession if
Yeah.
you really want to
Oh my
be helpful there. Um, as a PSW, any message for a new government? How can our healthcare system make changes to better support amazing people like you, PSWs, across the province? Would you want to say something?
Uh, I would say, we need more PSWs, but we also need more time, because there's days that, like I said before, there's not enough time to do everything. And sometimes they need someone to talk to, because we're the only ones that they see all day sometimes. So they need more time, more patience, and we're often rushing to go to the next clients because we don't have enough time. So I would say time is the best friend, because they're waiting for us. I have one lady that said to me, "Oh, I already did my shower because I want to have some tea with you and talk to you." So, and I said, "Oh, no, you need to wait for me. I'm here to help you with the shower." But she's like, "No, but I enjoy talking to you." I said, "Oh, and this is very important, because you need to feed your soul too. It's not about just going there for the care, but it's also giving someone your time. And that's what they are hoping for, your time, right?"
Your days, as you said, they're different. Every day is different. And going from one client to another with their special needs and being able to do what they need. Um, do you take more than one client every day?
Oh my God, yes. Sometimes I do like 13, 8 a day. Yeah. Yeah, so I would do some in the morning and then some in the evening. That's why. That's why I had like 13 a day. So it would be
How do you manage your own emotions after going from one client to another with all sorts of situations? Um, do PSWs get enough support from our government when they need some kind of well-being session or counseling session or mental health support? Like it's a tough job.
it is. It's very tough for sure, but not that I know of. Maybe there is a place, but I don't know if the place, of anyone could tell me. But it's a roller coaster of emotions. Like people are just, they want to be loved and care, and they want to feel seen and heard. That's what I see in the community a lot. They feel like they're a burden to us, and I try to show it to them that, we're here. I'm here to listen to you, and know that, we're here to support you. And
Thank you,
yeah.
Vanessa, for sharing all the information. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I'm saying it on behalf of all Ontarians. Thank you for all the work that you and your colleagues do day and night, day after day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Geeta. It's a pleasure to meet you, and an honor to be a part of your podcast.
Thank you so much. You have a lovely day. Bye bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.